So Astroturf, every time I do one of these where someone asks me to look into something and I already know inherently that it's bad, it's literally plastic grass that's like cooking in the sun. Every time I look into one of these things, it's so exponentially worse than I had originally anticipated. I just want to say that if you have Astroturf, really, you got to try and get rid of it as fast as you can. Let me show you what I found. So Astroturf has really gained popularity, especially in a lot of big athletic fields, because it doesn't require the use of watering, pesticides, and mowing. Just basically the maintenance is gone. It originally started with just plastic, but then over the years it has evolved. And since the late 1990s, they use a fill underneath to make it a little bit softer, and they use crumb rubber. Crumb rubber is basically where they take old tires, recycled tires, and they chop them up into little bits and put that underneath. Just a side note, tires specifically are one of the top leading producers of microplastics, and they use PFAS to create all the little blades and all these other gnarly chemicals to young people have higher rates of cancer if they play athletics on AstroTurf covered fields. And it wasn't until 2014 that a soccer coach named Amy Griffin realized that an alarming number of goalkeepers specifically had developed cancer after playing on AstroTurf fields. She began tallying all the athletes she could find in the same situation, and by January 2019, her list included 260 young football, baseball, lacrosse, and soccer players with cancer. The AstroTurf is also rife with PFAS, and these specifically are short chain PFAS, which even in DuPont's own study on this one specific short chain PFAS, they noted that some of the rats died after being exposed to this compound. Crumb rubber contains 92 chemicals, of which 11 are proven to be carcinogenic, and many others are just known to be toxic, even if they're not carcinogenic. The crumb rubber breaks down and creates a dust that contains those carcinogenic chemicals, which are then really easily inhaled. And especially when you're out there and you're breathing heavier because you're working out, not to mention the heat makes things leach off easier. You're just inhaling that a lot, and a child is much more sensitive, and these amounts are much larger to them than they would be to an adult. Certainly, if you are in an environment where it comes around you, you want to make sure that you don't track these toxic chemicals into your house. Try and switch to a field that has natural grass. If you have it in your home, try and get it replaced. I know it's expensive, but just try. And then if you do still have to play on it or there's no choice, definitely wash your hands, vacuum your car, change your shoes. Definitely try and make sure that you're not tracking these toxic chemicals into your home, because you're going to end up ingesting it, whether you're breathing it in or whether it gets on your hands and then you ultimately eat it, which happens all the time with kids. So, and if you see this in your schoolyards or other athletic fields, try and petition your either town or local school board to have it replaced. It needs to get replaced anyway, but try and have it replaced with just normal grass.